Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Swissman 15, and welcome to this little debut of a game type thing that exists that I sort of made but sort of didn't. And for lack of a better name, I'm going to be calling it Mapped Medieval 2 because it's on a map, I guess. Just a little bit background. This game version, I'll explain more. I know it's like right now, it's like, what the hell is this man talking about? Well, basically, this is going to be a game that allows you to have sort of like the campaign experience mixed in with actually fighting out the battles, where you have different sized armies going against each other. Like you have really small battles, really large battles, depending on how much funds you have, which I'll get into a bit later. And then you can just like go and fight for regions and against other players. So it'll be pretty fun, I think. But it's going to be a long term game, sort of a different. I don't know, very, very crude hot seat that allows you to actually fight the battles and have the battles affect exactly how you would in a game. So, let me just go with the background. This was originally brought up to me, well, not brought up to me, but I heard Emperor the Great Unknown and Pixel Apollo are apparently working upon this, and then they sort of abandoned it. I'm not sure when, but originally they had brought that up, and then I took away and ran with it. It was There's going to be a lot more siege oriented. Mine I edited it a bit to suit more my kind of style, and I edited the map itself quite a bit to make it more of my kind of game. And since they haven't been doing anything for months and months, and I sort of tried to test it a while ago, but it just sort of died because it was such a hassle the way I originally planned to do it that it didn't work out. But since no one's really been doing anything, I'm going to just go on and start actually like trying to promote this game idea. So basically, I'll say that a lot of times. Basically, basically, you have this map. If you can see right ahead of you, I don't know. You can call it whatever the hell you want. It's basically an island. I'm gonna say basically a lot today, by the way. So it's an island. It's got this lake in the center, and then rivers that run here and here. Actually, I could probably zoom in a bit. That would help. I don't have the down tab. I think it's Control Plus to zoom. Oh, yes, it is. That's the wrong way. I want to zoom this way. Here we go. Ho, ho, ho. Is that as far as I go? Hold on. Come on. Alright, well, basically, I'm not going to say basically, but you can see the rivers going in. From this lake, they go here, here, here. Now that adds a little question, like if this is an island, does this make this series of regions in its own island, and this its own island, and this its own island? So it might be a series of different islands, or maybe just one giant island, depending on how you look at it, because all of them are technically surrounded by water in different areas and not really connected by land, but that's a story and debate for another day, and a thing to people who actually care. Now, what I'm trying to get along with this is that, okay, so you got regions, right? And you can see the ones that are colored with green, red, blue, and purple are the player's regions start. The rest are unclaimed to begin with. And basically in any given region, you have stars that represent the capital that is necessary to control the region. And then X's of different sizes, the large X's being large, like nodes or something, and then the small X's being small nodes, which can then be built or upgraded to have defensive structures / military buildings, or economic buildings where you can get a lot of money from them. So the different like stars represent different types of capitals, really. The golden stars are large capitals. They bring you the most money and the most recruitment ability, which is why you start with them. These ones in the center, they are medium sized. They give you a little bit less money and a little bit less recruitment ability, but still pretty good for, capital, and they are crucial for controlling the region. And then finally, the brown stars all the way on this outside represent small capitals that give you the least amount of anything, but again, crucial for controlling the region. The moment you control the capital, you control the region, and then you can build on this area inside its own region, and you can see they're each numbered. And the reason they're all numbered, and then you can see inside there are different areas, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, F, G, depending on how big it is. That's basically for making it easier to communicate where armies are and where they're going. So you could say, oh, I'm moving an army from 10B to 10A. So that would be saying I'm moving from right here to right here. And basically, if you see all these weird lines that are going through, which I should have explained probably sooner, these brown lines, those are paths, and paths are basically where your army can travel, or troops can travel to conquer or take or fight anything. So they could go from here to here to here, and then you can also build roads, which will be colored probably like a silver, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure it out, but it doesn't matter. Anyone can really take this map and then run away with it and edit it for their purposes, make it a little bit easier. But I'm probably going to go with changing the colors of these lines to represent which ones are roads, which allow 3 times travel. So if you build roads, you could say go from this 9F to 10C to 10D, all the way to actually 15D over here if you have these 3 roads built, which would be pretty fast. But then also you have to keep in mind that there could be enemies anywhere here. And then this brings into a lot of different possible scenarios where you could go into with clashes like, oh, if I'm here at 10C and he's at 10D and we both run into each other here, you're going to be fighting a field battle. And also what I'm doing is that each of these regions, like Region 10, Region 6, and Region 1, 5, all of these represent a different map. So this one could be, Region 1 could be Death Track, Region 5 could be Palm Beach, Region 14 could be Winter War, whatever, and then you have to fight on that map. And like the defender will choose who's on which side, or if there's no defender, since you're like encountering each other or something, then the army of the smaller size would, or if they're the exact same strength, which is going to be hard to find, then you won't. Then you sort of like flip for it, actually. So the X's, I'm like going all around the place, and there's going to be the rules attached somewhere that you can look at the rules and read them and be like, okay, this might make a little bit more sense. Actually, I recommend you go read the rules now because I probably confused you way too much. But the X's here, like I said, are big nodes and small nodes. The big one's going to have either a big barracks or a big mine, and the small one's going to have small barracks or small mine. And the barracks it acts as a structural defense, so you could have like, I think the big barracks is a fortress and the small one is a castle, which you could use as holding. You can besiege them if enemies are inside, or hold out or delay them by keeping a small force inside so they have to siege it. And that's the same thing. Or if you have the mines, those will be sites of field battles. So if you have troops at B and someone or if you have troops at 9B and someone attacks you from 9E, it's going to still be a field battle, but you'll be the defender because they are being the aggressor in that fight. Now going through this, I'm trying to remember what I don't want to like skip over anything that's really important. Okay, the way that the armies are supposed to work is that you can buy armies with 2,000 gold. Like a single mine, a big mine gives you, I think, 4,000 gold per turn. I have it all outlined in the rules, by the way, all the costs and everything and how much they give you. So you could get an army, which is an army worth of 1 for 2,000 gold. Now, what an army worth of 1 really means is that when you go and fight the battle in Medieval 2 Total War, you can have 1,000 florins. An army worth of 1 gives you 1,000 florins in battle. So if you have an army of 2.5 fighting an army of 3, that's an army of 3,000 florins fighting an army of 2,500 florins, which would make it one side clearly has a disadvantage, depending if you have a siege going on or anything, and makes you weight more your options. Maybe you want to retreat if you're the smaller force and now actually fight that battle and pull back to a different area. So that adds that dynamic. And also what ends up happening is that after you fight the battle, say you lost like half your forces in the battle, you can see like basically how many forces are lost at the end of the battle screen. That'll be deducted from your army strength later on. So if you had an army of 2 and you lost half your forces, then it'll be an army of 1 on this battle map here. I'm not sure if that makes too much sense, but it's supposed to. So it's basically proportional to the battles, or battles will represent your army losses proportionally on this game here, and then also captures can be sold back at maybe a cheaper rate, but you're paying it to another player, and then they can use the money themselves. Little things to note out. We had to do little things like for balancing. I did make it so that in order to get benefits from any given region, you have to control the capital, and you have to control the capital for 3 turns to start receiving income or anything. from that area, but you can build on it immediately if you want, but you're not going to receive any like income, or you can't recruit or anything until 3 terms of occupation have passed. It's just prevented from just being all about rushing and taking this region, this region, this region, and oh, you got so much money, you win the game no matter what, because this guy was maybe taking it a little bit more time. I'm trying to think, what else could I possibly say? I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me because I made the game. To others, it's probably really confusing. On the actual map, I never explained these boxes. These boxes are simply going to be areas that show, like, they're going to say, like, 1 point something that'll represent an army size. So if you have an army of 1.56, you have an army of 1,560 florins. In that area, it'll be color-coded to correspond with any one faction. There'll be green numbers, red numbers. If it's blank, that means there's no army there. And in order to play this, you're basically going to have one person who's going to be a moderator. Everyone will send in their orders it's simultaneous for one turn. Everyone sends it in at once. So that way, no one has an advantage for that turn. It's just guessing what the other person might do, and you might encounter them. They might be pulling back after you're trying to chase them. So say you have an army at 2C and 7C, 2F and 7C, and the army from 2F goes to 7C, but the army from 7C went to 7D, you'll avoid that fight. Alternately, you could have them clash, and then you have a river battle, or you could just have the one at 7C stay put. Then you have a defensive river battle where 7C is definitely defending, so the force from 2F could either attack it or just say, actually, we don't want to fight this battle. If they maybe thought they would retreat, or maybe they moved people over. So if they say 7C is blank and then 2F goes to attack it, but then an army from 2B goes here too, you'll have an encounter battle probably right here at 7C. I'm not sure if that makes any sense. I'm trying to make as much sense as I can. Again, read the rules. They're probably cleared up for you. You can ask me any questions in the comments. I do suggest you guys try it out. Actually, I'm running 2 betas right now. One is already full with players, and the other, I'm looking for 2 more. And by the way, I'm going to be playing these games on Retrofit, which is basically a vanilla with the bug fixes where 2-handers work, archers work, pikes work, cav is balanced, all that. So I'll be playing on Retrofit 1.0 for my 2s. One of them is already filled with my friends, and the other one is right now just me and Captain, and we're looking for 2 more players who are semi-reliable, well, actually reliable, but on at a semi-frequent basis, maybe like at least 3 times a week. You're available online enough where that you can be able to schedule matches with people who are in pretty much any time zone, most likely New York and, well, not New York, but United States and Europe, so that you could say, oh, because you're going to have to actually fight these battles out. If you have a battle, an encounter battle being fought in Death Track, you guys are going to actually go on to Retrofit, go to multiplayer, and fight the battle out, and etc. So, just if you're interested, you guys can comment on it. If you guys are confused about anything, just write me some questions like, what the hell does this mean? Take a look at the rules. It's actually a lot more fun than I'll make it look. If I could speak, it's probably a lot more fun than I can make it sound right now, especially since it's a lot of it's you're given what you get what you're given, or what you have at any point. So if you need to hold something but you're drastically outnumbered, you might want to go and fight for the river and say he's got a 2,000 florin advantage, but you're defending it. It could add some interesting dynamics. Also, like early games where you have really small battles, you might have a 2,000 florin battle rather than, say, 15k or upwards of 20k, where there's a lot of upgrades and a lot of sizes there. So thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. And please ask me any questions, and do try and cite yourselves. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, my friends.